How's it going, everybody? Today we're gonna do something a little bit off in a different direction from fishing for a little bit. So it's that time of year where we get started on our scouting for deer and elk, right? So we from everything from looking for new spots, hitting up our old spots, having trail cam set up, our cell cam set up, baiting our deer stands, all kinds of different stuff. Probably even setting up some tree stands soon. But I'm just gonna kind of take you guys through step by step when I'm looking for a new area, what I do, what I'm looking for, why I'm looking for that, and then once I find an area I'm interested in, what I do as far as setting up a trail cam. So here's part one of what I do, and then hopefully I'll have a part two with some animals on the cameras and stuff. Maybe I'll give a little sneak peek at the end of this video, a couple of the pictures of the deer we already have. But all right, follow along, and this is how we scout our deer and elk here in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon.
MerpOutdoors is sponsored by jrtalker Custom Calls. Keep on talking. Catch and Release Hunting Apparel. The Working Man's Camo. Truly Wild Northwest. It's only real if it's truly wild. Oak Street Design. Built tough with you in mind.
What's up, Mother Merpers? We are out scouting for elk. We got about 2 months until bow season here in the Pacific Northwest for general season, and it's hot. I don't know if you can tell by my face, but I'm sweating. But I got Corbin here. What's up, Corbin? And yeah, we actually it's been a good scouting trip so far. We actually found a lot of salmon berries in this little area, but never been here before. Getting some boots on the ground. I found a few old scrapes, or not scrapes, I'm sorry, a few old rubs. Allergies are bad. So like when allergies get to me, it like makes me sneeze a lot and then like close my throat up. So I've been like an asthma kid this whole scouting trip with an inhaler, but yeah, so anyways, we found some sign. I haven't found any poop. I found some fresh trails. Basically today what I'm doing, I'm just looking for places that elk have been. Whether or not they're here right now, just where they've been. That way I can expand from there. So I found a spot where elk have been, and I found a water source, found food sources, I found clear cuts, I found where they all connect, and so I got a good idea of a place I want to look at. So I'll come back here when I'm not just driving around. I'll actually like walk around. I'll follow game trails, find a spot for trail cams, stuff like that. We have a bunch of areas around here, but I really wanted to explore this area because of how plentiful the water is here and how flat everything is. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I'm used to like mountains and stuff, and this is all flat. So there's lots of sign. I have seen nobody here, which is crazy. I've seen one crackhead camped out, sleeping on top of his Honda, but that's about it. So feel free to follow with me on my little mini journey of how I scout for deer and elk. Stay tuned. See, what's crazy is this road I just pulled off of, like, that's a pretty established road, but it doesn't show up on Onyx even. So that just goes to show, like, find an area. Even if you don't know anything about the area, just get out there, look for stuff. You'll find roads that don't even exist technically, and you get back on those things, and man, you'll get really good at backing out of roads. But about every road that I've gone down today that I didn't know that went back up in here, dead ended, and I had to back out. But they're perfect spots to pull into and then walk from there. I found some good camping spots. But yeah, what you want to look for is just like, I mean, a water source, and then go from there. You look for public land like BLM, which is what I'm on today. And just find the water source, find where they're going from a thick area to water, and find a place where there's like the least resistance, because they're just like us. They don't want to walk up steep cliffs and stuff like that and through thick stuff. So they're gonna find spots like that are open like this, you know, like here's a prime example. So these little openings right in here are gonna be a lot easier for them to go through than if you were to like have some like super thick blackberries or something like that. And then what we have right here is a water source. So there's a little mini pond right there. There's a nice open timber right here, and then on the other side of that is a clear cut that you actually can't get to. It's actually gated in. So and there's another one up here, it's similar situation, and but it's not gated. There's a tree over, so you know nobody's going in there. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep checking this spot out. One thing I'm noticing in a lot of these spots where I'm finding these game trails on the side of the road, like in these little pinch points where it's easy for them to transition to the water, I'm noticing that they're pretty close to actually like turnoffs, and they don't like to walk obviously down the road because they're gonna run into people, and but they're gonna want to be close to it because, you know, like that's just the road's going to the water source. They need to go to the water source, so they just kind of parallel it. So every single game trail I've seen that's heavy has been paralleling one of these turnoffs here. So that's a sign. And like I said, so we got our clear cuts here, which is what you want. You want the clear cuts. They're going to be there early morning or in the evening, sometimes midday if it's cold, especially like fall, winter, but it's going to be pretty hot when we're hunting for bow season here in the Pacific Northwest. So early morning, we're probably going to be on the edges of these clear cuts and stuff. And there's a lot of these. There's a lot of new ones too. There's the ones that have been planted for at least like 5 years. There's lots of reprod. That's where they're going to hang out, on the edges of the old timber and the reprod. They like to eat the little buds. They're foragers, so they need something like, for example, the edges here. There's a bunch of that brush, right? There's salmonberry brush all around here. There's all kinds of stuff that they're foraging on. This little reprod right there, little tiny sapling, they eat the little buds on those. So, and actually, the spruce spruce ones you can eat too. So they're not that bad, actually. I've tried them. So just make sure you have clear cuts in your area, and not clear cuts. I mean, this is a terrible example of a clear cut because we're right on the road. So they're not going to use that as much. If they are, they're going to be way tucked in down there where they can't see the road. You can't see them. So try to find like hidden little clear cuts where maybe you have to park, go past the gate, walk back about a mile. Like just look for them on Onyx. Those clear cuts are usually connected by some kind of road because obviously when they logged it, they had to get the equipment there. So all clear cuts for the most part are pretty accessible, or there's some way to get in there. You just have to kind of find it. And like I said earlier, you can find roads that don't exist sometimes that just go right back up in there. It's perfect. It's nice e-scouting, using Onyx and all that stuff, but nothing's going to get you more of an idea of what you have going on until you get here on the ground. Like some of these clear cuts here, I was like, oh yeah, I could probably walk the ridge line. And then I'm looking right now, I'm like, man, that's a long way, you know? So like, you want to get out there and see what's manageable. And what I start to do is I start to put on my Onyx, I start to put access points, like park here, stop driving here, there's a roadblock or a tree down, things like that, so you don't waste your time driving back into places. You can park somewhere farther down and walk in, which I like doing anyways better. You don't want to park your car, slam your door, and walk into your spot. They hear that, so make sure you're getting out there and finding those parking spots a little bit away from where you're going to walk in. That way you don't have to be as worried about being as silent when you're getting ready. That's a big deal, especially if you have multiple people, you have kids with you, you have your girlfriend you want to take hunting for the first time. Maybe find spots to park a little bit farther down. And then I like to find spots where it's not on the main road, so that way I'm not getting my car broken into or anything like that. All right, guys, so here's one of those transition points on the edge of the clear cut. So you can see through there, there's one of those hidden clear cuts. There's a road that goes back to it, but you can only get back to there by walking because there's a gate that's blocking it. There's no motorized vehicles allowed in this specific parcel. So see how it's open like this? Super open. There's lots of forage. They can move through, have their little snacks on right like after they came from the clear cut, and they can get down to that water source. Super quick and easy, and they go whoop, right back into there, and they can go past that where a bunch of thick stuff is. So when it gets hot during the day, they go way down in there into that drainage that it's almost impossible to get down into. You got to walk down on their game trail. So there's another transition point. These are spots I like to when I'm scouting. I might not necessarily hunt this, but this is where you find the hunting spot. So I like to just, since it's so easy to walk, just go find a game trail. Sometimes you'll find a heavy game trail you didn't even know is there. It's only like 40 yards off the road. Hunting these specific areas, you're not going to get miles and miles and miles in away from any road. It's just not going to happen. You're going to run into a drainage, a cliff. There's just so many roads up in here because like they're doing so much active logging up in here. The elk are in here. The deer are in here. They're using all this stuff. They just know how to avoid us really well. So these transition points are perfect. You can go walk around, just walk a straight line until you find a game trail, and then mark those game trails. And then you can see, like, kind of follow them for a while, see where they pop out. And usually they'll pop out right back on the main road. They'll double back on where you just came from. So those are awesome little spots to put little game cameras up on. Awesome spot just to find out what's in the area and just to make sure that you are in an area that has elk, because you obviously, if there's no elk sign at all, leave. There's so many elk around, you got to go find somewhere where they're at. So here's another transition spot right here. It's another one I'm talking about. A little clear cut that's hidden. I don't know if you can hear in the background right now. There's a main road right down there. So this is a perfect little hidden clear cut. It's got brush overgrown. So this is actually probably like a couple years old. Perfect spot. There's lots of reprod behind me. I don't know if you see in front. There's a big open area here right on the other side of the road. So they just kind of hop across, hurry up and get to this clear cut. So yeah, that's about what we're looking for when you're scouting for elk. We're going to move on to the next step. Alright, so we're using these Wild Game Innovations Terra Extreme. They come in 2 packs. How much was it? Like 70 bucks? Like 35 bucks a pop. But they're decent. They come with the batteries and a little 16 gig memory card. We got these at Bimart. But we have a bunch of cell cams, but they're kind of a pain because you got to have cell service. So we got these so we can just throw them in the spots where we have no service. And yeah, so we're going to go beat some brush, get way back up in there, and go set this camera up. Oh yeah, we got the little dude out scouting today. Hey. A little trick if you're out there with a little one scouting and you want to be quiet, give them these biscuits. A full mouth is a silent mouth. So we're going to start on this spot here. As you can see, we got a heavy game drill. It looks a little more beat down because we walked through here and scouted it, but we're going to crawl back here. We got a good spot where they seem to bed down, in a spot where they actually are coming in from the top end from a clear cut. So we're going to go set the camera here and see if we can figure out exactly what's in the area. We're noticing here is that all the tracks go one direction. They go downhill. So they're not going uphill this way. We think they're going uphill somewhere else, but at least we know they're coming down this way. So let's get inside. Jackie's got the protection there, the baby protector 2000. So it's a nice, good opening. But obviously, using it, it's all beat down in here. So we're gonna set up a camera right there. Let's get her, dude. All right. I think this is a good spot. Here's gonna be the vantage point. What do y'all think? All right. If you look. Hopefully this isn't a bad idea and they don't mess up the camera. But as you can see, it just took a picture. Jackie walking back and forth. So we got antlers on the back, antlers on the front. So I think I got a good little spot here. Do a little camoing up. Check it out. Got it right there in the top of the crease, so you really got to know it's there to know it's there. Alright, what do you think? Let's get out of here. We don't want your biscuits, dude. Alright, so we're at another spot here, and like I said before, power lines are awesome spots. Why? Because they're always open. There's always service roads, things like that. So we're here at, as you can see, power lines. We parked up there. We're gonna walk down here and see if we can find a game trail that we can cut off from the path here and find something to work with. We have a lake down below, and then we seem to find a lot of game trails up here on top of the hill. So we know they're going between the lake and the top of this hill here. So we just gotta find out where. Set up a camera. Alright. So the power lines are up there. We want to get somewhere in between them and the lake. Oh, it looks like they're going down here. Do I want to put something down there? Probably not. We're going to find a little more level spot. A little bit better game trail. It's a little more covered too. So we got a super heavy game trail that goes down here, and I don't want to go down there, but I want to see what's going up and down here. It's the only trail down, the only really good way down, because there's a drainage that's steep over there, and this one's kind of steep over there. So we got the camera up right here, should be aiming straight down onto whatever walks past here. And I had to get a little creative here, because the stump's too big. There's nowhere really to put it. So put a big pile of rocks here, wove the strap around. Check that out. You can't even tell. See my strap down there? Oh yeah, no one's gonna see it.
Alright, y'all. If you're still watching, make sure you like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. But there will be a part 2 with some of the pictures and the follow-up on the trail cams we set up. Kind of some more things we're doing throughout the summer season, getting ready for our season for elk and deer. But here's a couple pictures, though. A little teaser for from one of our cameras we had up for deer. So thanks again for watching. Enjoy.